Hey Nils, good to have you here. Happy to chat about Instantly and a bit about your journey.
Hey Michael, good to be here. It's my first public appearance, first interview. So looking forward.
Nice. I feel honored. Well, jumping right into it, Nils is the founder of Instantly and also his own agency. And we're here to hear a bit about how he started and what he's currently doing. So, to kick us off, do you want to give a little bit of background on who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I'm Nils. I'm the co-founder of Instantly AI and SalesFeed. So Instantly is a cold email automation SaaS, and SalesFeed is our agency. Just cold email B2B lead gen. And yeah, I'm a digital nomad too. So I've been traveling the world for the last 6 7 years. Started in LA. I went to Argentina after that, then all over the world: China, North Africa, Colombia, Mexico, Florida. Now in Barcelona in Spain since the beginning of the year. So yeah, just building businesses and traveling the world at the same time is kind of what I'm up to right now.
That's awesome. I didn't know you've been to so many places. And one thing I'm curious to know is what was the first venture that you did while traveling?
The very first venture was like building a ClickFunnels funnel for a high ticket course. Yeah, that was the first project. I learned a lot from it. Just building ClickFunnels funnels with Infusionsoft, writing copy, running ads. Kind of the first big project that I did, and then from that project, I got a bunch of other clients, which kind of started my online business journey.
Nice. So, is that like an agency or freelance?
Just a freelancer, yeah. Just started out as a freelancer. Basically, I started out as an intern. I flew to LA, to work with these people, build the funnel, then transition into freelancer, and then from there more like agency, and then also building my own brands. And yeah,
That's sweet. So, what made you decide to do the digital nomad thing in addition to running your businesses?
yeah, just always like loved traveling. Like as a kid, with my family, we traveled a lot around the world. My parents worked for an airline, so they always got like very cheap flight tickets. So we went
Nice.
everywhere, like always, like South Africa, Brazil, everywhere, and they always got me so excited to travel. It kind of just even going to the airport, being in the plane. I don't know what it is, but I love like moving around and being on the road, basically.
That's awesome. Where has been your favorite place to work and live?
Favorite place, I would say if I had to pick one, I'd say here in Barcelona in Spain,
Nice.
because it's an amazing city. Also has good like entrepreneurial vibes and energy here. A lot of entrepreneurs, kind of a hub in Europe. If I had to pick another one, like Buenos Aires in Argentina is an amazing city too. You're in South America, but it's still like kind of Europe, and
Sure.
it looks like a European city. So I like it there too. And yeah, if I had to pick those two, I would stay here.
Nice. I heard really good things about Argentina. I was hoping to go there last year, but it's closed off, but definitely in the future. So that's cool you got to stay there.
Yeah, I was there, bro, when the pandemic hit. I was in Argentina, but then I fly back. Haven't gone back since, but I might like later in the year.
Have you picked up Spanish? Like, do you speak Spanish?
Yeah, I speak some Spanish, just the basic stuff. But I can
Nice.
chat to people, not about like philosophical discussions necessarily, but like day to day stuff works.
I can speak like a special needs child just enough to like barely order food, but it got me around.
Yeah, that's how we all start, right?
All right, well, awesome. So, how long ago was it that you actually started the agency, and when did you start Instantly?
Yeah, so we started SalesFeed, which is the agency, the cold email B2B lead gen agency, around like June, July. And then yeah, we started getting more clients. And then shortly thereafter, we also started with Instantly. We kind of we got as we got more clients, we were spending more and more on software, on sending tools, on warming tools. We're spending thousands a month, basically. I mean, we start off with hundreds and like thousands a month. And at the same time, we met a developer on Indie Hacker. And back then, Instantly was actually an AI copywriting tool. But we partnered up with him and told him, hey, let's just pivot. We feel like there's a gap in the market. We're not super happy with the tools that are out there. I mean, some of them are okay, some of them are good, obviously. But we're just spending so much money on all these sending and warm-up tools. We thought, let's just build our own in-house that we can use in-house to do the service delivery for all of our clients, but also to get our more clients for ourselves. So we just like pivoted that instantly into sending, and and then just slowly, like July, August, we just used it for in-house. and added features, removed the bugs and all that, and started building it over time. As we were also scaling up the agency, like we did those two things in parallel.
There's definitely a gap in the market because with a lot of ascending tools, it just gets so expensive to scale. Every email is another $50, $60. And if you want to use 5, 10 emails, well, you better be converting well because it just gets so expensive. So I mean, that's why I switched from Lumless to Instantly, and it's saving me like a Corvette a year or quite a few nice watches. It's a lot of money it's saving me. So nice. That's definitely good. You guys filled that gap. I'm happy in terms of my own savings. I'm happy for you guys that you found it.
We have some power users. They're saving like 30, 40, 50K a year. And we just also felt like all the tools like overpriced, to be honest. We kind of know the cost structure behind all of the tech. And we didn't feel like it's fair to charge per inbox and just like a flat fee. And we scratched our own itch, right? We solved our own problem for the agency. We're spending so much, just built it for ourselves initially. And then like other agency owners or cold emailers also like saw the use in it.
Makes a lot of sense. And I've heard a lot of buzz around Instantly. I mean, there's not too many softwares where you can audibly hear people talking about them in every Facebook group and group calls. And like, maybe you don't notice this because all you talk is Instantly, but outside of people related to Instantly, it's getting talked about a lot. So that's definitely cool. So outside of the organic buzz you've generated, what was the way you got the first client for both SalesFeed and also for Instantly?
Yeah, first client from SalesFeed, just a regular old cold email. So nice. We kind of practice what we preach, and we just use cold email to get the first clients for SalesFeed. Now SalesFeed is a little bit more established. We have around 25 active clients. We have a bunch of case studies. Now we're getting more referrals too. So it's through referrals we're getting, but we're still like doing a very active cold email for SalesFeed and for Instantly also. So we built up Instantly. We had a big launch in February with the AppSumo launch. And then now what we're now doing is just using Instantly to grow Instantly. So we have like 75 sending accounts, just sending cold emails in regards to the Instantly offer, just getting on 15-minute demos with them and then taking it from there. That's how we do it. But initially, like the first customers of Instantly were actually ourselves. So anybody that we would like close for the agency, we would sign them up immediately for Instantly. So nice. At the beginning, we kind of hand closed everything, to get the first customers.
Yeah, that's really unique. And you're the first person I've talked to who's used AppSumo. Could you tell me a bit about how that process was and how it worked? And one other question about your launch. I know you have a little bit of a following on Twitter. Was that part of your launch, or has that been something you've done after the launch, growing a personal brand?
Yeah, that's something I did after the launch, like just for fun, basically. I started tweeting around. I kind of did it purposely after the launch, so we wouldn't get too many lifetime deal signups because we're really focused on MRR, monthly recurring revenue that we want to grow. So I told myself, okay, once this AppSumo launch is over, I'm gonna, start doing like the personal brand, like start tweeting. And so like a month ago, and it's been fun. I like Twitter. I think it's like underrated.
It's a great way to meet people too. I find that I'm much more engaged with people who follow me, and I follow on Twitter and like Instagram, other platforms, for example. So it's definitely good. And I had no idea how strong the community was on it. It's like a really good business community on Twitter. And also I find the information on Instagram people share is a lot more surface level than Twitter. Like from what I've seen, the way to win on Twitter is actually providing concise and actionable information compared to other platforms a bit more flash. So I really like that about it.
Yeah, with Twitter, it's been great. Like it's kind of, you take a risk, right? Putting yourself out there a little bit. But I think the benefits outweigh it, because we had like so many people even just like DM us or like send us opportunities our way, or like we meet other agency owners, other SaaS owners, and like exchange ideas, strategies. You can even hire people for your team, right? Like find really talented people that join you on your mission, on your rocket ship. So it's been great, like just networking, strategies, talent, and yeah, just for example, like just a couple of days ago, someone reached out to me and said, "Hey, I have this potential client. Do you want to speak to them?" They just DM'd me like I don't know where. So it's kind of, when you put yourself out there, you have more opportunities coming to you, I feel, instead of having to chase after opportunities. So that's been a big benefit from it.
The way we met is actually kind of indirectly through Twitter. I mean, I met you in a private mastermind hosted by Nick, and I met Nick on Twitter, and maybe you met Nick on Twitter too. I'm not sure, but there's a good example right there.
Yeah, exactly. I had my anonymous account before that, and I was just following Nick, and I actually DM'd him, and that's how we met eventually through the mastermind.
Yeah, Nick's a cool guy too. He's I reached out to him and just had like a really casual conversation, got on the phone with him, and yeah, he's doing cool stuff. Well, we talked about how you get clients for Sales Feed and also for Instantly. One question I love to ask, which I think is a bit different than some other interviews I've seen, is what are you doing for client retention? Because obviously getting clients is one thing, but the way to make a lot of money is by having, you know, massively good retention. So I'm curious if there's any tips, strategies, tactics that you've been doing to help with this.
Yeah, so the first one, right, is kind of the obvious one that we all know, like get them results. Be like really good at what you do and get them leads. Like for example, with our clients that we have good retention with is we just send them leads. Like you don't, even if you send them good leads, you don't even have to talk to them anymore. Like they just send them leads on a weekly basis and that's it. Unless you want to help them scale, then you obviously are more involved. And what I would say is, like at the beginning, right, if you're starting out with your agency, just take on anybody that you can. Just, you know, build up your experience, build up your systems and your team. But once you're a little bit more established, let's say if you have like more than 10 clients or like 15 or whatever it may be, like be picky with who you work with. Right now, you know, we're just taking on clients that have like a good offer and a good SDR team and a good closer team. It makes it much easier to get them results. Like our leads are more valuable to them because they have a good offer and they're able to close those leads. So sometimes we had issues with other clients that they got overwhelmed by the leads and they weren't able to close. And then obviously there's no return on investment on what they pay for. So I would say that maybe like a more like a practical tip for me, it's kind of the first impression bias. It's like those first 2-3 weeks when you bring someone on board, like be super on point. Like the communication has to be like great. Send them like some good ideas, like talk to them like those very 2 to 3 weeks when they come in and they say, oh, okay, I'm working with professionals, like there's nothing to worry about. And that they have this first impression of you. And then later down the line, they see you through this lens of, okay, this is a pro, even if like some details don't work out. I would say like if you bring someone on board, like a new client, just the first 3 weeks, like go all in, be super on point. And after that, you can relax a little bit more from there. So I would say that like at the beginning is really important of the relationship. How you structure that, and after that it's a little bit more easier.
Definitely agree with that, especially with onboarding. Having a really smooth onboarding where it's not clunky, that's been huge. We've done a few meetings, we've got a lot of comments on that, so I 100% with you on the first few weeks. And another question you mentioned is coming off of one of your answers, is you mentioned that you don't like to work with people with good offers and sales teams. Do you have a preference in terms of business type you work with? Like, do you like working with SaaS, with agencies and consultants, or is it really just anybody with a good offer?
Yeah, at the beginning, we really specialized on agencies and coaches. But now it's just anybody that's good at closing, basically. I mean, we have a lot of case studies with like high ticket info coaching and agencies. So we attract also more of these people because we have the track record. Now we're working with like bigger teams, like bigger agencies that are able to close from there. So I would say, yeah, that's what we specialize on. We might like also do more like B2B SaaS companies that have funding, that have money, work with them. But actually we had like good results with like just agencies that have an entire team that's just on, right? Because we only send them the positive reply. We really want that clients to be on point when it comes to inbox management, like booking the positive replies, a meeting, be able to close. Yeah. So like agencies are good. If they're established, if they're not like beginners, if they just started their agency like 2 months ago, it's a little bit difficult to get the results. But yeah, I would say that.
I'm with you on that. If people can't close, then they're not going to be return customers. Like we found that if we can get someone their first deal, we're just never going to drop. So we try to get them that first deal, as fast as possible, which means the right leads and the right volume. So I'm with you on that.
Exactly.
And one question I love, go ahead.
One thing I would also like, if they hassle you too much about the price, they probably don't have a lot of money, and there's a reason why they don't have a lot of money. It's probably because they're not good at closing in the first place, right? So this is a little bit of a red flag. Also, I would say, just people who are good at closing, they have money, so they're also good clients.
That's a good way to put it.
Bother you too much. Yeah.
So one more question for Instantly and SalesFeed kind of in combination is, what is the ultimate goal? Is it to sell the SaaS company with a massive valuation? Is it to be a big company? Do you want to make this passive? Have you thought out what the next few years look like?
Yeah, so right now with the agency, it still takes up some of my time, some of our time also with the co-founders. But we like the agency game to, like, right now we want to remove ourselves as much as possible. So we're putting certain things in place, for example, commission only appointment setters, just for us to get more clients, commission only appointment setters that set meetings for our commission only closer. And then what I also want to do is like have campaign manager, account manager, who are very like performance based, like maybe with a smaller base, but very performance based. So that ultimately I can like remove myself from the day to day in the agency, I really focus all my time on Instantly. The agency is cool, but kind of Instantly is more fun right now, and we really want to grow the MRR fast. We're growing fast, but can have a big goal before the end of the year. So I would say like SalesFeed is kind of our cash cow that sure. funds our lifestyle. That is pretty passive, and we can also reinvest money from SalesFeed into Instantly to grow it faster. And then Instantly is kind of the home run, or what we're trying to make it a home run with, like grow it for the next 2-3 years, maybe hopefully sell it for 8 or 9 figures.
Nice.
Yeah, so right now we had like 15K monthly recurring revenue with Instantly. If we want to get it, if we can get it like to 100K MRR, the company, like depending on how fast it grows, but the company could be worth like 10 million. If we can get it even beyond that, then we can sell it for a lot. So that's kind of the goal, and then a nice exit and start another company basically, or start a venture capital fund. That would be fun too, just investing into cold email SaaS companies from there once the exit is done. Kind of the goal.
That's sweet. I like it. Those SaaS multiples are great. I mean, if you want to sell your agency, you can, but the multiples, it's fine, it's good, but it's nowhere near a SaaS multiple. So that's definitely enough money that you can live comfy and have plenty to play with on other ventures too. So I think that's a good plan. Yeah,
exactly. Like I think the agency you told me about is like 1x from the yearly revenue, right? With
yeah,
the
that's
SaaS
one of the good ways to look at it.
With the SaaS companies, you can get like 36 times the MRR, up to like 100 times the MRR, depending on how fast you grow. And like obviously there's the story you tell to the investors and all that, but you can get some crazy valuations with SaaS. So
it's wild. And one thing I've learned about exiting, because that's one thing I've considered with my agency, is exiting. And one of the main things I've learned is that almost all the buyers for agencies are other agencies. And the way brokers can get you a good multiple is what you can convince someone you're worth, because if an agency, it's always like, well, is it a freelancer of a team, or is it an agency? And if it's an agency, like how productized is it? And then beyond that, it's like, what can you make someone think it's worth? There's not like some set form of so many things. So one thing I learned is that it's all about building relationships. So one thing we're doing at Done For You Meetings is we're not 100% sure we want to exit eventually, but when that day comes, we want to have options to choose from. So we're already doing outreach to bigger agencies that are similar with the option for them, like, hey, we might exit in the next year. Do you want to follow our journey in case you're ever interested? So we're already in that process to build potential investor relationships now. So in a year, 2 years from now, we have a contact list of a few hundred people, and one person might think it's worth this multiple, but maybe there's one gem that's thinking it's worth 2 times more than everybody else. So kind of an interesting process we're going about.
Yeah, that's a good strat to use cold email for investor relations and build a network. That's a good way to do it. I might steal that idea.
For so many things. I mean, getting a job, getting on a podcast, getting people on your podcast, meeting anybody, like it's just such a good skill. Like if I lost everything in my business today, I would send cold emails to really big companies for interviews, and I'm 100% sure I'd get interviews. Oh. Like it's just a life hack. It's so good.
If nothing else, like just cold email and like a free landing page and a Zoom can get you out of trouble.
Yeah, it's insane. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and answering all these questions. It's really interesting to hear about what you're doing. One last thing is, where can people go to learn more about yourself, SalesFeed, as well as Instantly? And I will include these as links in the description too.
Okay, yeah. You can follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is like at NILS, Nils 100K M. And yeah, I tweet every day. So that's kind of my resolution. I'm going to tweet at least once a day for the foreseeing future. Sometimes I drop value on there, like strategies, sharing cold email templates that work, post about travel too. I'm in Spain right now, but we might, with my co-founders of SalesFeed and Instantly, we might go to Bali in a couple of months. So I'm just going to document some of my travels there too. And just posting fun stuff too. So you can just, reach out to me there. Hit me up in the DMs. Let me know what you're up to with your agency or SaaS or whatever. I like to chat to other people in the space. And my Twitter is the main thing. I mean, I just started with it for fun, but I want to grow it. I want to grow it more, as has huge potential, I think.
Awesome. And I'll link SalesFeed and Instantly down below. So thanks so much, Nils, for coming on. Really enjoyed it. And I look forward to talking to you soon.
Okay. Yeah, it was great to chat. Thanks for having me on, man.